And for something different on this last show, Daisy Cousens is this time joining me from a very unusual sort of area for her. I've always considered her more of a city girl, a plugged in. She can't be anywhere where there's not excellent internet connections, but she's somewhere in the remote part of WA. What are you doing there, Daisy?
Well, Andrew, I am fortunate enough to be hosting the next Pioneer film, which is really, really exciting. There was one that was just on Sky a few weeks ago. The wonderful Rowan Dean hosted it, and I am doing the next one, and I am absolutely stoked.
What, finding out the pioneer spirit, of which you have, I think, quite a bit. Well, I can't wait to see that one. Of Daisy swatting away mosquitoes and cooking by a campfire. Let's see how you go.
It's great fun, yeah.
But let's talk. Yeah, but let's talk about the kind of topic that we've dealt with a lot over the past year, Daisy. The threats to free speech from the left. It really is getting out of control, and especially now threats from gender activists trying to force us to say what's false, or at least what most of us believe strongly is false. Tonje Jejon, she's a lesbian filmmaker and actress in Norway. She's now being investigated for hate speech, faces potentially 3 years in jail for posting on Facebook that a man cannot become a lesbian. She was arguing with a prominent activist who was born male and now says she's a woman, and what's more, a lesbian mother. But Jejon wrote, well, look, it's just as impossible for men to become a lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant. Men are men regardless of their sexual fetishes. What offends you about this story?
What offends me about it is just the blatant misogyny, Andrew, and we see this so often from the LGBT lobby, particularly the trans lobby. It is this sort of erasure of specifically female wants and needs, and we see it particularly with the pressure that lesbians faced in the face of the activist movement to have relationships with biological males who are trans, and it's this ridiculous notion that somehow trans women are the same as women. You know, a woman is an adult human female. A trans woman is not an adult human female. They are a biological male with gender dysphoria who chooses to live their life as a woman. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So the fact that this filmmaker, this lesbian, is looking like she might be thrown into jail for simply stating biological facts that a man, an adult human male, cannot be a woman and therefore cannot be a lesbian is just completely ridiculous. And it's so funny, Andrew, we hear so much from the left about male privilege and how male privilege is bad. This is the ultimate form of male privilege. It is absolutely putting specifically male needs and male preferences above that of females and above lesbians, who are considered by the left to be an oppressed group. The hypocrisy is just astounding. And as you say, the most incredible threat to free speech imaginable. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, it's always struck me that the kind of people pushing the cancel culture thing and laws against this or that don't seem to be particularly bright, which is probably why they need laws to shut other people up, because they might be shown up otherwise. Daisy, I can't let this final segment go without mentioning your wedding on Saturday. It was brilliant. It was typical Daisy. The flowers, the flower arrangements were amazing. They just hit you in the eye, and I thought really made it. I congratulated your designer there. Brilliant stuff. But what struck me, Daisy, it's not just that a wedding in itself is a ritual, right? It is. It's a ritualization of a bond between a man and a woman to give it extra dignity. But you seem to have invested so many little bits of it with that extra ritualization. The toast to the king, the national anthem, which I thought, the God Save the King, which I thought was brilliant, but also the wedding waltz. I haven't seen anyone actually choreographed the wedding waltz every little bit. I was just shuffling in mine, so I'm glad my wife didn't see your wedding, because otherwise she'd reproach me. But that seems to be important to you. Ritual, giving things meaning.
ritual and giving things meaning is very important to me, Andrew, because I mean, I'm a conservative. I believe in conserving things, conserving, tradition and finding meaning in that. And I mean, look, everyone's entitled to have their wedding how they want it, but I figure, why have a wedding if you're not going to, have a wedding and do all the stuff and do the bridal waltz? And as I gather from the reaction of a lot of the guests, and thank you so much for coming, by the way, they loved all of that. And they mentioned, all of those little things like having the bridal waltz and having the toast to the king and God save the queen. And it was such a beautiful setting. And also, Andrew, I mean, I had to postpone this wedding twice because of COVID. We were meant to get married, have the ceremony 2 years ago. So I figured, look, this wedding's been 3 years in the making. I wanted to really give everyone a good time so we could all find meaning in this beautiful ritual that is a wedding. So I thought I'd throw everything into it.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Loved it. And thank you for everything you've done on this show, Daisy. All the best to you and Callum too for the rest of your lives.
Thank you so much, Andrew. That's very kind of you. Very, very kind indeed.